The other side lost 2 trucks.
Yeah.
And the house is leaking, and his wife was so cute. She put stuff around trying to rearrange it so it wouldn't get wet because they were still sleeping in it.
Oh, Lord.
But, you don't see this stuff until you get
inside.
Yeah, and it looks this good outside. Why are you going to go inside to look? Those big globs of ice, I guess, was falling against my wall over there. And I'm in the bed in that room. And it just sounded like somebody throwing big rocks against the wall to me. I got up and got dressed and went to the foot of the bed and stayed. I got dressed because I said they might have to take me out of here. You can't see anything. You're not seeing anything because you're scared to look for it. And finally it ceased a little, and I got up and peeked out the window to the house next door.
What did you see?
My broken window.
There was a category for hailstorms. This will be a category 5 hailstorm. It's affected 98% of the town. And like I said, it destroyed about 80%, 90% of our automobiles. This is a town that doesn't have a grocery store, doesn't have a laundromat, doesn't have a pharmacy. Like many southern towns, it's got a Dollar General, but it's a mile away across a major highway. So even walking there is hazardous. And with the population of elderly folks that we have and disabled folks that we have, it's just not realistic.
I was just like, oh my Jesus, what is going on? Like, it was like a disaster. His windows broke out. It was raining everywhere. I mean, everything got wet. Mattress and all. Clothes. It's very uncomfortable. We had to sleep on the couch.
And that's all of you, all 4 of you?
They've been donating us food and stuff, and then Red Cross gave us a donation. I've been trying to get them to come out to redo my roof and stuff, but Warren working on it, but I had called some other people, but I really didn't have the money to right then to let them do it, so they said they couldn't do it at the time because I didn't have the money.
I was sitting in my old chair as you was watching Gunsmoke or Laramie, and before the big ball fell down, the biggest hailstorm, the ball hit that roof up there, and it started leaking in the bedroom in there. And I didn't pay it no mind. And I had my travel bag, my American Airlines travel bag laid out because I was going to my nephew's wedding in Huntsville, Alabama. And I said, oh, I can't make it now. And I heard this different sound, water dripping on leather. It makes a sound. And I went there and looked, I said, oh my God. And I have a concrete tub because I'm an old fix-it man, handyman in anything, just about. And I got my concrete tub out and put it up on the bed, and the bed was wet. I said, oh, shit. So I come sit down. I said, well, I got to call Stan. And I called my friend in Dadeville. I said, Jennifer, get down here immediately. I want you to send something to Stan. She went in and took a picture of it. The water was dripping, dripping, dripping. It was getting worse and worse. Then the rain stopped. And a day later, you just got to see when sheetrock get soaking, it just get heavy. And it got heavier. And all of a sudden, I was sitting in the chair watching Laramie Gunsmoke, and a noise went. I said, what the hell is that? And I went down the hallway there, and I wasn't prepared to see what I seen. and the whole ceiling fell out just about.
Were you at home during the hailstorm?
Yes, I was at home, and it was real tragic, you know. It happened early that Sunday morning. I say about 2, 3 o'clock that morning, and it came out of nowhere, you know, and I mean, I never seen nothing like it. It destroyed everything, like cars, my home. Everybody was affected by it in the town that lived in the area, and it's real hard because it's already a little poor town, you know, and it's so limited with jobs, and you know, it's hard for the people, and I mean, it was just tragic.
I was actually, I worked full time for the area ambulance service, so I was actually on the ambulance in the next city over, dropping a patient off at the hospital. When we cleared the hospital, we were getting ready to head back to the station. That's when they advised us that the hailstorm was coming through and we needed to stay where we were at because it wasn't safe to drive through Dadeville and into Camp Hill. And they told us to stand by, that there was a big hailstorm dropping grapefruit-sized hail in Dadeville, and that they would advise us when the area was safe. I've actually never seen it in the 35 years that I've been alive. So I want to say the storm hit at around 3:30 in the morning, and by 3:50, they gave us the all clear. It was a short period of time, but it was a long period of time. You know, a hailstorm lasting 20 minutes before you get the all clear to be able to drive. It's a long time for frozen balls of water to be falling out of the sky. You could tell it rained, or it looked like it had rained, but it wasn't until I received a phone call about 4 o'clock that morning to come to Camp Hill to the fire station, that the fire station had been destroyed or ruined in the storm.
Anything that's red hasn't been claimed or work hasn't been done. If it's yellow, it means that there's still work that has to be done. If it's purple, it's a follow-up, and if it's green, it's been done and it's good to go. The way that we have it set up now, because we don't have a telephone number, you have to come in and say that you need to get registered, and I'll put in your name, your phone number, your address, and it'll pop up. And then we get down here to the good stuff, which is what people need. But when it first started, we didn't even have this. We were just emailing back and forth with Keisha in the mayor's office and saying, here's this address, this person needs it work. And then when we got this system, they just said that they would come in and say what they needed, and I would put it in the system, and I would print out their work order, and I would give it to a volunteer to get it done.
So the way the program is designed that anybody that has capability to the program can go in and select a work order. So there's nationwide, almost 2,000 cases nationwide. In Camp Hill, we've got 223. But with nobody coming in to help and nobody's coming in to volunteer, we had to kind of change the way we used the system. So we went with our own, I guess, platform within inside their platform to meet the needs of the people in Camp Hill. Before, we had to do everything by paper and just hand it out to the volunteer firefighters as they came in and worked 16, 20-hour days to try to get most of the tarps done. I know before the system came up, we probably tarped 80 houses without having crisis cleanup. We're basing everything we're doing right now on donations and the generosity of people's hearts to come in and help, whether it be tarp a roof or clean out a house or donate supplies. A declaration changes the ballgame. We go from minor leagues to major leagues at that point, and we can get a lot more done.
Thankfully, we finally got the storm shelter. I want to take a left and take you by it. We finally got the storm shelter open. It has sat here for about a year waiting on various inspections. And so this opened March 25th, I believe, the storm shelter to your right. And then a few hours later, this hailstorm happened. Opened a day before the hailstorm, and It takes a while to get one of these open. Apparently it's like 5 different inspections that have to be done. They have to install generators and everything. It's a pretty arduous process. So it's pretty good timing. We had about 14 tornado warnings. Thankfully, there was never a tornado when it happened in the year before. And so it's extremely important that we have this now. I've been really encouraged, the interest and the people who are using it. You know, we need these in every small town, probably more than one, quite a bit in a lot of these places, because sadly, tornadoes can hit just about any area in the state of Alabama, and some of the storms in East Alabama seem to have gotten a lot worse in the last few years when it comes to severity of the tornado. So we're very happy to have this in town. And if you look on the storm shelter itself, you can actually see where the baseball to softball sized hail hit and knocked where the dirt was on it, and where I guess it had gotten some of the dirt and things and knocked it off. And if you look at our sidewalks, it's almost like some of them have been, pressure cleaned. There's dots and things on it. People look at it and they're like, you can't get that many people in it. You absolutely can. There's a restroom inside it. These are, I don't know how many we have in this state. We probably need 5 times as many as we currently have. Right now, in a town this size, a lot of times, sadly, they aren't taken advantage of, because people just assume that these things aren't going to happen to them. And you have a lot of folks that, like in this region, that hasn't gotten a lot of tornadoes that become complacent. In areas that get tornadoes, they absolutely get used, because the people are reminded of what they went through. This hailstorm is having that kind of effect on this town, because when the hailstorm happened, it was so loud, and it was just, it was so scary that anytime a storm comes up now, people are, need to go to the storm shelter. To be displaced from your home, or to be housing displaced relatives in your home, right? And then have that happen within your own home. It's a very bad situation all the way around. Yeah, it's worse every time I've gone in there, and I just can't bring myself to do it anymore. We gotta get the help, that family needs. We have a predominantly white volunteer fire department, and these are, working class, white guys who maybe haven't noticed or been forced to notice in the past the injustice, the racial injustices these little towns face. And, the chief, even in one interview, was like, what's going on? Is it this? Is it this? Is it because the town's predominantly black? Why? I have very strong feelings as to why all of that is, but to hear these people who traditionally, would not have necessarily seen it that way has been something to see. And it's been one of the few silver linings of this thing, very few.
Do you feel like Camp Hill has been forgotten about?
Yes, I feel it has been forgotten now. I think they never knew.
Camp Hill's a real small community. Everyone's real tight-knit. Everyone waves when you go down the road. It's got a historical main street that, if you come down and take a look and actually take the time to look into the town of Camp Hill, you'll see all the hidden gems that we have to offer. I'm not going to tell you what they are. Come find them. But Camp Hill's a very good community. I've been here as a fire chief for a year now, and I don't see myself working anywhere else. When I retire from here, I'm going to hang it up. So this is where I want to be, and this is where I'm going to stay.
Do you feel like your town's been forgotten about?
I definitely think the town has been forgotten about. I think people don't care about this town because it's so little. We need everything. Food, transportation, money, because everybody got to be out of work. It's hard, man. We already was going through it with the storm, and it's really hard to see nobody's trying to help. Like, how people could be so cold-hearted when people are in need. Just overlook us. Oh, that's so sad. Okay, it's sad, but try to do something about it. Just don't say it. Be about it. Put out a hand. Lay a helping hand. We're human like everybody else. Everybody needs help. I don't care who you are. At a time, you're gonna need help in life, even if you're on top at the time. at one time you're gonna get to the bottom, and you're gonna need help.